And welcome to a new Energy Crew podcast. Me, your host, JP Warren. I want to thank everyone out there for tuning in to checking this one out. These new series that we're trying to help, other individuals out there just kind of maybe break free from ruts, kind of get out of their own way and kind of just elevate themselves throughout the day in the new year or in the new month or even the new week. I often say, take small steps for big changes. So even if it's just for one day, you're trying to improve yourself. That's all that matters. Stick with it. Consistency is key. So, all right. I want to thank Exec Crue, the number one executive development program. We are offering this as a mastermind group right now. We have limited membership. We are closed off at 12 for this first program, and we're excited that we are in the process of getting the second group prepped and ready to go. So if you're interested about joining a community to elevate your networks, knowledge, and yourself that goes over the holistic leadership approaches, how we can support each other, and how we can grow, check out Exec Crue, www.connectioncrew.com, and head over to Exec Crue, check it out, or you can email info@connectioncrew.com to get on the queue to join the crew, if you will. And again, another sponsor is Crew Club, our operator producer focused network events where we bring together operators, producers from the upstream side of space. We have some great genuine connections, some upstream industry insight, and at the end of it, we give back to the community. So you can check that out if you're interested about attending or maybe even sponsor an event. You can also email info@connectioncrew.com. But if you can't make any of the events, we also have a newsletter called Crew Club Behind the Drawworks, and that's some exclusive content right there where you actually take a seat at the table and get to hear what's going on from our topic series events. Had a lot of great topics out there. All right, let's get started. This one kind of I'm going to wing it a little bit here today, just because we had this just a very impactful, amazing Exec Crew meeting this week. We had our February, our second meetup this week, and when I say that, also I'm also taken away from the sheer fact that just because we've had our second quote meetup, that does not take away the fact that this group between 12 of us have met up numerous times over the past month, many different collaborations, many different advice, coaching sessions, and also just support given in this community. And I love watching the friendships and the connections grow here. And it's just something that's very inspiring to me. And part of that, as being in this mastermind group, is also sharing a little bit of ourselves, sharing what makes us tick as leaders, not just the strengths. Listen, I should probably do a podcast about why it's important as a leader to know your strengths. And maybe I'll do that moving forward. But right now, because this topic is so fresh, because this was our second module, it's important to me. I think it's important as leaders to know the goods, the bads, the SWOT analysis, if you will, about us. And this is the blind spots. This is the stuff that's the blind spots that we all have, not just as leaders, not just as people. Human beings, we have blind spots, and that is stemming from whether it's childhood stuff, whether it's environmental, circumstantial, or just growing up and just kind of what we learned, what got hardwired in our brain as a kid to adult, adolescent to adult growing up. And blind spots is just kind of the where is it? I have it here. I have a simple thing. All right, blind spots is the areas or aspects of our self-awareness, behavior, or knowledge that we are either unaware of or do not fully understand. These are the gaps in our understanding or perception that can affect our judgments, decisions, and interactions with others. All right, so again, blind spots. And if you listen to the last episode we had, we talked about perceptions, and that's one of the things that we can control. So, hey, if we can control our blind spots, our perceptions, that means we can control our blind spots. That means we can improve and move forward as humans, as people, as leaders and achievers. All right. So, the premise of this is it's imperative for us to know our blind spots. The things that are holding us back, the behaviors, the thoughts that are kind of stay up here that we may not be able to articulate right now. But I think after this, hopefully we start to kind of put some words behind the feelings that might be kind of holding us back and holding us down, or not letting us take action, which to me that's one of the biggest challenges and the biggest kind of, if I could cheer anyone on, it's just to take action, and to not take action because of limiting beliefs and blind spots to me, I feel you, and I want to get you through that. So I was like, when I was started thinking about this topic, it was like, okay, so where do I want to have something like, how can we get through that? How do we break through those barriers, and how do we shed light on those blind spots? However, I think that's, to keep light, to keep honor of the time, commitment. I think right now, let's just talk about awareness, because I think that is one of the biggest obstacles and lowest hanging fruits that we can have as humans is to understand and to actually have awareness on our blind spots, have awareness on a lot of things that's going on in our minds, and personally. And I think awareness is key here. I think if this is the goal, to have a pause and have a break throughout your day, and to have a little bit of awareness on kind of what's holding you back, or maybe a little bit of personal awareness on your blind spots, let's get into that. Let's do that. That if that's the goal of this, that should be the goal of this. Okay. All right. So when it comes to your blind spots, what areas do they fall under? They could fall under routines, actions, thoughts, and perceptions. So, in routines, I mean, what kind of blind spots are you kind of hitting in your routines right now? Are you one of those people that kind of just procrastinates because you got to get something done by a certain time, but that imposter syndrome in you is not letting you really kind of dive in and finish it? You might get to 80, 90%, but there's that 10% that's still there that you're not completing, for some reason. I know I face this. It's weird. I face this, like, for example, we have 9 modules at Exec Crue, and they're already done. They're already thought out. I literally have to convert one to like a Word document to like a Canva document. So it print. That's been on my to-do list for about 2 weeks. I haven't done that. That is holding me back. That is my limiting beliefs. That's my perfectionism holding me back. Okay, well, if I do this, I got to get busy with something else. No, you don't. Just finish that project. All right. So what else? Change. I mean, are you uncomfortable with change? I mean, look, as humans, we're all uncomfortable with change. We talked about this last podcast. We want control. We want predictability. We want to understand what the day is going to look like when we walk out in the wilderness, when we go into that cave. We want to know what to expect. All right. Are you so dead set against change, or so scared of change, where it's not allowing you to kind of rise up to where you should be or where you want to be? And actually, it might be those things where you might even know the level you can get to because of your fear of change. That is a limiting beliefs. All right. Not following up. I mean, you could have a great meeting, a great networking event, a great this, great that. Are you not following up? Are you not doing those little things? That's kind of those, oh, well, they want nothing to deal with me, or that. What what routines are you not doing, or that you are doing, that are limiting your beliefs? All right. Are you like, oh, well, I'm in traffic for 35 minutes. I'm not going to stop at the gym just because, I've been on whatever that is. What routines are kind of holding you back or stopping yourself, that are not allowing you to achieve your goals? Actions. All right. So the second thing on limiting beliefs is actions. All right. Are you I mean, let's talk about this. I mean, mindless scrolling. Are you on your phone constantly getting dopamine nonstop, and that's stopping you from doing something else? That's stopping you from chasing a dream or accomplishing a task, because it's like it's like walking by the fridge when you're bored. Is your action of mindlessly scrolling through your phone, is that a limiting belief for you? Whether you think or not, is you doing that taking away from, number one, you achieving your goal, or B, is it kind of polluting your mindset a little bit? Is it giving you that dopamine, or is it providing you that anger that keeps you focused on that app versus kind of getting your nose down in the real world? All right. I wrote boring here. I don't know what that means. Okay, how about not taking action? That's an action. I mean, there's a lot of times where there's so many great ideas out there. There's so many great, unbelievable ideas out there. However, without action, that's all they are. They're just ideas. They sit up on the shelf. They don't go anywhere. So is the actual action of not taking action, of not doing anything, not stepping up, is that holding you back? Um, and I know that's like that for a lot of people in my personal life, and also me including. There's so many great ideas, and sometimes there's like, you want to get there, and you want to get to this goal, and you want to build this, and it's just a question of that first step. It's not a question of what does it look like. I think we all know what it looks like. It's the question of doing it. It's the question of doing it and just committing to it. So if you take that first step, follow through with that second step. What is it? Walking is the practice of not falling. Keep not falling forward, in your journey. to take that action and to achieve your goal. All right. Really wish you knew what boring meant. Anyway, thoughts. All right. So what blind spots are in your thoughts? Control. We just talked about this. Is the thought that you have to control everything, control your people, control your people's perception of you, how this is going to go, how this launch is going to go, how this event's going to go, how this pitch is going to go. Thinking that you have control is a limiting belief, because the only thing you do have control is your action and your perception. So, what else? Thoughts. I mean, this could be ingrained. Another imposter syndrome. I mean, I can talk about this. Obviously, y'all know out there. I can talk about this nonstop. But is your imposter syndrome holding you back? It probably is. I mean, imposter syndrome comes in many different forms and many different ways. There's one thing that I find interesting too. Like, I've been listening, I've been reading about kind of leadership and kind of blind spots and why it's important. And one thing is like, it's what do we believe in ourselves? I mean, it's taken me till I was 41 years old. I'm 43 right now. It's taken me till I was 41 years old for my self-limiting beliefs, thinking I need a W-2. I need that stability. I need this if I'm going to be happy in life. And also, even as an entrepreneurial, it's like, I'm never gonna. You start off on your own. It's so chaotic. The blind spots is like, I'm never gonna get to that level. I'm never gonna succeed to that level. I'm never gonna get there just because I don't have it in me. I don't have what it takes. That person does. I don't. The only difference between you and that person is probably their perception and their actions. That's it. And so, is you thinking that you're not going to get to that level, or you're not that guy, or you're not that girl? Is that your blind spot? Is that your limiting beliefs? Your position. Oh, I don't see myself getting above vice president. I don't see myself getting above this position. Look. You might not be right for that position, for that company. That may be true. There might be a culture thing, or maybe you might have bigger dreams or a different way to run things that might not fit into that what they want you to. But those beliefs about if you're the right person for the role, the fact that you're even having them means that you are. So what blind spots are kind of holding you back from kind of believing in yourself and betting on yourself? All right. And again, the goal of this is to establish that awareness at home, to establish that awareness, whether you're listening to this in your car, in the gym. I mean, blind spot in a gym, you might not be able to think you can do 2 or 3 more reps after, you kind of, max out. Try it. I mean, that's a limiting belief. You've done this historically 8 times, do it 10 times. All right. As a leader, I think, and also as anybody, I think it's important to know your blind spots. I think that knowing your blind spots, you make better decisions. I mean, so like one of the exercises we did at blind spots is like, what are some of the constant conflicts that you have in your relationships, whether it's at work or personal? That's a blind spot right there. I mean, are you constantly wasting energy and having the same conversations over and over and over, and you thinking it's not on you, it's on someone else? That's probably not true. That's probably a blind spot, a scenario. Whether it's your marriage, whether it's your boyfriend, girlfriend, whether it's your boss or coworkers, are you having the same constant conversations, same sort of conflict that's always there? That's probably a blind spot in there that's hindering you to breaking out from that and growing as a team or growing as an individual. All right. I think knowing your own blind spots, you're able to get out of your own way. You're able to circumvent your own bullshit. I mean, it's like, as an entrepreneur, I have all these limiting beliefs. Who am I? I'm imposter syndrome. Oh, no one wants to hear you talk, JP. No one wants to hear you get up there and lead the room or lead this, executive development program. I think knowing my blind spots and identifying, wow, that is a huge imposter syndrome. Or if y'all follow this, my Colin Robinson is a huge blind spot. All right. Having that voice in my head saying you're not that guy, or who wants